Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
We're continuing No Shave November with
Abominable.
One blade of grass in a meadow, one drop of rain in the sea.
You see anything?
Still haven't found any bodies. Let's check out the woods.
Not many people go up there nowadays, I can tell you that.
He and his wife were involved in that climbing accident. Now he's seeing monsters.
I mean, it was like a loud boom, like something big fell.
But the lines are down.
There is something out there.
Now, this is not the kids' movie called Abominable, obviously, although that would be kind of funny if we reviewed that one, but we're going to pass on it.
I was going to say it's the kids' version. This film has multiple cameos, like a shit ton of cameos, I feel.
There's a lot of people you'll recognize in this movie.
So we have
Go ahead.
Dee Wallace.
In a very small role, like 2 minutes in the movie, that's it.
Yeah, she's just in the beginning of the movie, and then she's done. She's like, I came here to do my thing, and I'm done. You have Dee Wallace. You have Jeffrey Combs.
Yep.
You have
Lance Henriksen. I feel like Jeffrey Combs and Lance Henriksen just made up their lines for this movie. They just showed up and were like, we're doing a Bigfoot movie? Okay, we're in the woods. We're hunters. Gotcha. Let's go. And they just went from there. They probably have done enough of these kind of low-budget horror movies. They didn't really need to see a script. They just showed up and were like, what's his name? Bob? Okay, we're good.
Yeah. You have those veteran actors. They could totally pull that off, so I'm sure. And then even the conversation they're having is very, like they're just feeding off one another, you know?
Yeah, I feel like they've just had this conversation before where they're just talking about Darwin Awards and how stupid people die. Yeah, that whole scene was great.
So the star of the movie is Matt McCoy. His name is Preston in the film. He plays a paraplegic. Matt McCoy, he was the father from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. He had a beard at that time, so he looks a little different, but he was a hottie in the film. Rebecca De Mornay was, trying to... Well, actually, she was trying to get revenge about the whole thing, but she did try to seduce him, so there's that.
He was also the replacement for Steve Guttenberg in the Police Academy movies.
Oh, yes, he was.
He did a couple of those. I know he did at least Police Academy 5 and 6. Maybe 7? I'm not sure. I think everybody dropped out by that point. Except for the, people that were like, no, this is how we live. We make Police Academy movies.
So he's a paraplegic who is going through some kind of one of those crazy therapy sessions where the therapist is like, go back to the place of your trauma and face it,
Face your trauma head on.
Yeah, and when he means head on, he means when you look out the window, there's the trauma right there, because I just saw a year ago I saw my wife, or 6 months ago I saw my wife fall off a cliff. They were like one of those, couples that do all the hiking and rock climbing stuff together.
I'm going to tell you right now, never go climbing on a place called Suicide Rock.
Yeah, that's not a good place to be doing that. I feel like you should not be,
it's called
shot
Suicide Rock
when you end up not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's by your hands or not, but The Rock is like, I'm taking your life. I need souls.
So, yeah. So, the basic pitch of this movie is it's Rear Window with Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And that's a great pitch.
It is. We were watching it, and, you know, he gets wheeled into the house, and he picks up the binoculars that look over his shadow. I'm like, is this Rear Window? Like, meets Sasquatch.
Yes, it is. Now, this movie was directed by a guy named Ryan Schifrin, and the music was done by Lalo Schifrin, who you'll know his name because he's the guy who came up with the Mission Impossible theme and composed a ton of movies over the years, and that's his dad. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They teamed up on this to do this little father-son duo here. You got him directing and writing, and then
the poster.
The poster was done by Drew Struzan.
Yeah.
So this movie's got a lot of stuff going for it. Although, sadly, on Peacock, where we watch this, they do not use the very cool Drew Struzan poster. They use like a close-up of the Bigfoot face. But on Tubi, they have the very cool Drew Struzan poster.
Which I'm like, like that's an iconic artist for poster art. Like,
why wouldn't you use that everywhere? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what kind of shit is that? So, next door, so they're like in some kind of like fancy schmancy like condo, like cabins.
Yeah, they're in cabins up there, and across from them is where there just happens to be a group of girls staying for a bachelorette party. Oh, that's always going to be bad news.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it doesn't work well. It doesn't end up well for these chicks.
Yeah. Anytime there's a group of girls going to a bachelorette party or, going off for a girls' weekend, there's never a movie where that goes well for them.
This is also, not to get ahead, but this is also on Tubi as well.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you said Tubi? Okay. I thought you said Peacock.
I said Peacock was where it has the terrible poster.
Oh,
Tubi
yes.
is where it has the good poster.
Well, someone needs to take a nap. I totally just blanked out of that whole thing because I was so focused on, wait, we should tell them where they can find this movie because you need to see this movie. Okay? Now, the first movie we watched didn't have any Bigfoot action in it. Like, barely anything. Like, you didn't even see him. Not even a fucking toe. This movie, you're seeing this motherfucker from every angle. Front, side, booty angles. Like, you got it all, okay? Yeah. And it does not disappoint.
I was going to say, did this satisfy your Sasquatch murder quotient you were looking for?
Hell's fucking yes, it did. And I don't even understand why people don't ever talk about this movie. Because not only, and I'm not a gore whore, but it's fucking graphic, dude. It has some amazing kills in it.
Yeah, I've never seen the Bigfoot just grab someone and bite their entire face off like happens in this, and it is a great scene.
It is a great scene. It is fantastic, and Matt McCoy does an excellent job. Even though I did point out, I was like, why is he dressed like Anthony Perkins in like Psycho? He got the Anthony Perkins like hair. Also, he's very thin framed, like scarily thin framed.
And then he's wearing the khaki pants and the black turtleneck.
And the black turtleneck. That's what like threw it all together. I don't know if he was like channeling, which, I mean, for those of you that do not know, and Rear Window, that's not Anthony Perkins, that's Cary Grant. So, like...
Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart, I'm sorry. Two Grant actors. Got my actors confused. But at least I knew that it was not fucking Anthony Perkins, okay? So, yeah, it's not him, so I don't know why he came on set with, like, the energy of Anthony Perkins. Who knows? But, yeah, he totally had that kind of, like, vibe going for him. And... these girls, of course, like any woman, you see a guy, even if he is a paraplegic with some binoculars, you think this guy's a fucking pedo, like he's a pervert. Not a pedo, a pervert.
Well, it could be that too. He's peeping at you with giant binoculars from his house. You're like, oh, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah, and it all starts because one of their friends was obsessed with being on the phone, and she decides to go outside to take a call. And here comes fucking Sasquatch. And let me tell you, the Sasquatch, he does have like predator vision, you know, where he's like, every time you see it from his point of view, it's like weird. I can't even explain what it looks like, but I just thought like immediately predator. It's not colored weird. It's just, you know, animal vision.
Kind of point of view of it.
Yeah, that's when you know you're like looking through the Bigfoot's eyes. Bigfoot's eyes. And yeah, he just snatches that bitch right up, like gone within seconds. And of course, what else do you have like left to do with this damn condo cabin but look out the damn window, because he has nothing to do. And his caretaker's a fucking asshole. And the second that I saw this guy, and the first interaction at the beginning of the movie between Preston, aka Matt McCoy, and this dude, I'm like, I hope this guy dies, because he is terrible. He's paying this man, and he's treating the fucking nurse is treating him like he's a child that knows nothing, and he's so condescending.
Yeah, I would send him home right away. I'd been like, well, you're fired. I'll get someone else to come in here.
Yeah, he was cannon fodder. It was just like, we all know he gotta die.
Yeah, they wanted to make this guy as big an asshole as possible so you wouldn't feel bad when he dies. And boy,
so you're fucking cheering?
Yeah, they succeeded.
They did succeed.
You definitely were like, oh yeah, this guy, I've got no problems with him getting his head ripped off by Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, man, he was just, it wasn't even like he was hungry, because he was full. He had whole bodies. A lot of people. He ate a lot of people. I feel like at one point it was just like, you know what? I'm bored. It's a Friday night. It's a full moon. We're not doing anything. I'm just gonna kill some people. That's what I'm doing today. Like,
now, this movie may have inadvertently answered a question that we had in the previous podcast about why, if Bigfoot is out there, why, if he dies, does no one ever find the body? This one kind of explains that a little bit, because there's a scene where, you think Bigfoot's dead. You're pretty sure he's dead.
Wow, we just skipped right to the end. Okay.
Yeah, we're going right to the end. We're going to cut back and forth on this.
Oh, okay.
The movie's like 16 years old at this point. We can't spoil it too much. You think Bigfoot's dead. It's the typical, scene in any slasher movie where they're pretty sure he's dead, but you wouldn't get close to him just in case.
Yeah.
The sheriff's department goes back to look. There's no Bigfoot. But then they keep looking around, and then you see more eyes out in the forest. A lot of Bigfoot eyes out there.
Yeah.
So maybe you were right. Maybe the Sasquatches do come and take care of their dead.
Maybe they do. And you know what? That actually was a fantastic way to end the movie, because they did it in such a clever way where the POV from the police is like they're looking out and they're seeing all the shadows of like the trees, which are towering. Obviously, they're in a forest. But then in between all the spots where the trees are separate, which would kind of like make like a triangle shape between like the trees, that's where the shadows of the Bigfoot, of the big-feeted people,
Sasquatches.
The Sasquatches, there you go.
Squatch eye, however you say it.
Squash eye. They're filling in
multiple Sasquatches. Is it Big Feet? Is it Sasquatches?
I don't even know, dude.
Sasquatch ones?
Because they never talk about them in groups. He's always singleized. They feel that, first you see the eyes and then you see like the shadow, and it's very clever. I thought it was a great way. And so also I wanted Paul Gleason to die because he was a fucking asshole in this movie too. If no one knows who the hell I'm talking about, he's the principal from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, he's the guy running detention. So maybe that does explain a little bit of it. Maybe that's why too Bigfoot disappeared. Maybe that's why he was still hungry. Maybe it wasn't the same Bigfoot attacking throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
Maybe it was multiple ones.
Maybe it was multiple ones.
Maybe each person that was abducted by the Bigfoot and killed and eaten, that was one guy. There was one Bigfoot doing it, and there was actually 5 or 6 attacking. When they each got their victim, they carried it off to the cave to eat it, and then that's why they kept coming back. There was more than one.
They were like, hey, Bigfoot 1, what you doing tonight? Bigfoot 2 is like, nothing. Bigfoot 1 is like, you know what? We should have a barbecue. Bigfoot 2 is like, sounds great. Bigfoot 3's like, I just saw like 5 girls going to a cabin. Bigfoot 1 is like, fantastic.
And over on the other cabin, there's a guy over there that probably can't run away. He's in some kind of wheelchair. And the asshole that's with him is such a dick that even I hate him. And I'm a Sasquatch out here in the woods. So no one's going to miss those guys.
I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to sound really terrible, but I mean, the Bigfoot didn't give 3 fucks about Matt McCoy because he was obviously, he couldn't do anything. I don't think that the Bigfoot was like, this guy's a real threat to me at all. And he has nothing to offer me because the man weighed like 70 pounds. Like, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, maybe Matt McCoy was like, he's like a method actor where he's like, oh, I'm a paraplegic. I'm going to be as thin as I could possibly get because people like that in those scenarios tend to be very thin framed.
And also, this other guy's going to have to carry me up and down the stairs a couple of times in scenes.
Yeah, like, that's not CGI. Like, he's actually carrying him. Which you did make a note, like, oh man, you have to be pretty strong to be carrying like another whole ass man. Yeah, and he's like going upstairs. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they carried him from the door to the car and then there's a door to the house right there, like fucking 2 steps away. Like, no.
He carried him up a lot of steps and you saw him walking too. So I'm like, damn, you have to be pretty strong to do that just to carry anybody up there, but especially a full grown man.
So maybe he did that intentionally, but who knows? But yeah, the Bigfoot was like, I have not, like, that's literally like floss to me. Like, I like, that's going to be like a sharp bone that I'm going to use to pick in between my big Bigfoot teeth to get all the meat out. Like, so he left that for last. He didn't give a damn. But notice how the girl that throws the drink on the other girl's face, the girl that gets all the drink on her, the weak one, that's the one that gets attacked first. I'm sorry. Secondly, the first one was the one on the phone. Bigfoot's like, no, bitch, you're out here in God's country. You're supposed to be, like, not on the phone. So, etiquette, you're dead. Like, I'm going to kill you right off. I don't appreciate you on the phone. You're interrupting and disrupting, like, the fucking deer that are roaming around. My food. You're fucking with my food. I don't care what you got going on over here. I'm gonna kill you. So yeah, and then he got the girl that was a weakling, you know. Also, I mean, I hate to say, but there's a shower scene, and it doesn't disappoint. And yeah,
Hey, at least he was kind of a gentleman. He looked away from he saw her in the shower.
Bigfoot?
No, Matt McCoy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, first of all, no, he didn't. He looked away for 5, not even a second, and then he was back at it. And he kept looking at her. I know it was for her quote-unquote well-being, but come on. He hadn't seen a woman naked in a really long time. Like, and that was his wife before, so who knows what their sexual relationship was like. He could have not seen a naked woman for, like, fucking 3 years. So he was like, oh, I'm just checking to see if Bigfoot got her. Wink. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Bigfoot did.
Yeah, he did. Ooh, and he got her like... So, for you horror fans out there, the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street, where it's like dream sequence, where Nancy's mom gets pulled in through the window... and she gets folded up. This is how this bitch gets through, like, she comes out of the fucking
window there. Or also how, like, the deputy got killed in the Blob.
Oh, yes.
Folded and pulled through the hole in there. Yeah, that guy. Poor Paul McCrane. He died terribly at the Blob, RoboCop, and ER.
Yeah, he did not have any good luck. I feel like he's like that guy from Lord of the Rings, where it's just like, you're just gonna die all the time.
Oh, yeah,
I forgot his damn name. Sean Bean, yeah. Sean Bean. He's always going to die.
He spells his name S-E-A-N, just like his last name is B-A-N, and then pronounces them differently. Either you're Sean Bean or you're Sean Bond. You can't have both.
I can't with you. I give this... You know, we didn't rate the last movie, so I'm going to rate it now, even though you may, out there in the world, may or may not have heard our Willow Creek review. I'm going to give that 1 knife.
Yeah, I'll give it 1.5 just because of there was some good acting stuff in that one, but we're retroactively talking about Willow Creek now. More things about Abominable. We forgot to mention one of the other people that's in this, besides Paul Gleason that shows up, playing an asshole just like he did in Breakfast Club. You've also got Phil Morris, who you'll recognize from a lot of things. He's been in everything from Star Trek 3, the revival of Mission Impossible in the 80s. He's done voice work. Excuse me. He's done a lot. He plays one of the sheriff's deputies in it. He's one of those guys that as soon as you see him in every movie, you're like, oh, that guy. I recognize him. But he's just a character actor that, he's never quite hit it big time, but you always see him and stuff, and he's always good.
He's always working. That guy's always working.
Yeah, I don't think he stopped working since, like, the freaking Star Trek 3, like 1983.
He worked before then. So
yeah.
he been very busy for decades.
Yeah.
He's had a good career. I don't know. I really enjoy this movie. I would watch it again. I would watch this movie again. Not today, because we just saw it. But I would give it a revisit. So far, I'm going to go on the record. Best Bigfoot movie ever made. Boom. I'm going to throw that out there. Show me something that's better.
Well, I think because this one actually has, like, a lot of movies, when you start with like, it's Rear Window with Bigfoot. Okay, that's a pretty good concept right there. You tell that to anyone, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
And you know what to do. It's like the movie Outland, where they're like, it's high noon, but it's in space. You're like, okay, I get it. They're coming to a space station instead of coming to a small town for the showdown.
Yeah.
Whatever. I get it. Those kind of high concept movies like that, if you do it right, they always work well. That's how you ended up turning Seven Samurai into The Magnificent Seven. It's like, what if instead of a Western or a samurai movie, it's a Western movie?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, you do it right, it'll be amazing. And they really pulled it off in this one.
They sure did.
When you start with the Hitchcock template, it's kind of hard to go wrong.
They sure did. And it was a very smart move on their part, because it was entertaining, and the kills. I mean, and the fact that it wasn't a lot of these Bigfoot movies or found footage. And that also was a plus, because it's just like, it doesn't need to be a found footage movie.
And you actually, like you said, you see the Bigfoot. A lot of movies are on that, oh, less is more. Let's not show you the monster.
Yeah, because they don't have the budget for it.
Yeah, and I get it, but at least save what was that one we covered? Oh, After Midnight. Was that one we covered where they talked about the monster through the entire
2
movie?
hours.
Well, it was only an hour and 20 minutes, that movie, but it felt like 2 hours.
It felt like 2 hours.
But then at the very end of the movie, they bust out that incredible looking monster.
Yeah.
It was great when you finally saw it. It was like, why couldn't we have seen that before?
Because it cost so much money to have on screen.
I guess so. I always felt like that was a good movie, but it would have been an amazing short. If that had been 30 minutes, it would have been an amazing Tales from the Crypt.
I agree. It could have been a short. I did not need to see an hour of marital or relationship issues, because that's all that movie is. And in the last 20 minutes, you got the monster.
Yeah,
and it's not even. To be honest, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. To be honest, I think the fucking monster's like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'd have been great. That'd have been a great short. A 35-minute movie of that would have been amazing. If that had been a Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side, it would be up there with ones you're still talking about to this day.
I agree with you.
Now, this one, on a scale of knives, I'm going to give this one 3.5 knives.
3.5 knives. Okay, I'm gonna give it 3 knives.
Okay.
I can't always give the highest of knives, even though I like it, because there has to be something that people got to work to achieve to get the 4 knives. Like we got to give them something to do, and I hope I do see another amazing Bigfoot movie. We actually had, I think, 2 people recommend another Bigfoot movie to watch.
Night of the Demon.
Which we were going to watch it.
It's just hard to find. It's only available, I think, on Screenbox. If I can work that out for the end of the month, maybe we'll watch that and add our thoughts onto that, either to the Thanksgiving episode or just add in a little 5-minute bonus episode telling what we thought of Night of the Demon.
Yeah, now, just right off the bat, it's very, it's literally like, woke up, hey Chad, you want to make a movie? You want to make a movie about Bigfoot? And then that's what happens.
That's what the trailer looked like.
Like it's straight out, like it's super indie movie, which there's nothing wrong with that.
But this looks like one of those very low budget shot on video things from the early 80s that will either be amazing or it'll be completely terrible. So I'm hoping it's amazing.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the people have spoken and they provided their opinion on what we should cover. And these people don't know each other, right?
No.
Okay, so those are two separate people that have come and put this on the table. I'm going to say that it's probably pretty good. From what I saw with the way that they did one of the kills, I'm like, that's fucking super classic low budget shit right there. And I'm for it. I'm about that. I'm really about it. But yeah, I gave it the 3.5 knives. Check it out. It's on Peacock and Tubi. I feel like you won't be disappointed.
3.5. You just said 3 a minute ago.
3. Did I say 3.5? I'm sorry. You're 3.5. I'm 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 3.
You need this nap badly, don't you?
I'm turning into a Bigfoot right now. I'm gonna literally just start leaving my huge feet. Also, I mean, like, does he have, like, he obviously has to have, like, mad callus, right? From, like, walking barefoot all the time. Like, his foot's, like, made for that, right?
I would assume, yeah. You can't have, like, soft, tender feet when you're Bigfoot running around in the woods.
Maybe when they noticed that people were noticing them, they just started, like, muddying, like, their feet prints. Like, their footprints. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like when you don't want to be tracked anymore.
He's tying bushes around the back of his feet to, like, you know, cover him up as he goes.
Yes! How clever. Exactly. Or Amazon could be delivering same day or next day delivery.
So he has a phone with internet and an Amazon account and a credit card?
Yes, he does. And
that's right. We discussed before they're working as lumberjacks.
He has somebody that does it for him.
Ah, okay. So he has an assistant now.
Yeah, he has an assistant. Because the assistant is the one that helps him, like, cover his identity. He has to have some kind of, like, human connection out there that, like, it's kind of like Dracula and, what's his face? Renfield. He has a Renfield, and he orders the thing. And basically, I'm trying to tell you what he's ordering. He orders a Roomba, and the Roomba just cleans. He just cleans the footprints. No, you're not buying it.
Because where would he charge the Roomba?
The assistant does it. Renfield does it.
Okay.
Footfield.
Jesus.
But thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It concludes our No Shave November. Thank you so much, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.